Your eye and blood scan has determined that you are an unregistered user. Would you like to create a new account? When Lee Hyun connected to Royal Road, he heard a voice. He looked around to see who had spoken to him, but no one was around him, just an empty space. Lee Hyun realized he was in the middle of activating a new account. Yes! Select the name of your avatar. Weed. Weeds, the lowest of the low in the plant kingdom. To Lee Hyun, it was the most appropriate name for himself. Select your gender, male, female, or neutral. Male. Royal Road has 49 races. You may select your race from the primary 29. Human. You may alter your appearance, the way I am. Your account has been activated. Your stats and class will be determined while you are playing Royal Road. Pass. Select the city and kingdom you would like to start in. The Citadel of Saraborg, Rosenheim Kingdom. Welcome to Royal. Pass. Not wanting to waste even a second, Lee Hyun skipped the tutorial and made quick decisions according to the plan he had prepared. To him, the 300,001 monthly game subscription fee was a significant expense. In Royal Road, there are over 100 major cities and thousands of towns. A new player begins their adventure in a capital or a major city of comparable size. The same was true for Weed. With a flash of light, Weed appeared in the Citadel of Saraborg, Rosenheim. Weed was overwhelmed by the sight of countless avatars, users, and NPCs. It was like he was in the middle of the busiest part of Seoul. Where am I? Wow, this is crazy! Astonished, Weed couldn't believe his eyes as he looked around. The sounds of people haggling and chattering rang in his ears. The view unfolding before his eyes was like the real world. The hustle and bustle of people busy coming and going. He looked at his legs firmly planted on the ground. His senses told him that it felt no different from real life. People passed by as he stood still in a daze. Look at him. He's a noob for sure. It looks like he's never played a virtual reality game before, some users commented while passing by. The words stung him enough to awaken him from his daze. They're right. Weed was in Royal Road, the world of virtual reality, his new workplace. No matter how thoroughly Weed had prepared, his knowledge of virtual reality and his research into the game system could only prepare him so much for the experience of being within the game. Weed was amazed, but it was temporary, and he soon calmed down as he started to notice differences from the real world. His senses were consistent with reality, yet people around him were clad in armor or wearing leather vests. Close to the spot where he had spawned in was a bulletin board. On it were maps, information about the Rosenheim Kingdom, and directions on how to use the interface. It's time to get going. Weed clenched his fist and started moving his body around. He sat down and stood up, then jumped, tumbled, kicked, and punched the air. He twisted his waist around and carefully tested one joint after another. He wiggled fingers and toes and jerked his head back and forth. Even when the tsunami of humiliating comments gushed forth from the other users nearby, Weed was determined to test out his body. What the heck is he doing now? Looks like he's moving his body. I guess he's still not used to virtual reality. Oh, I see. But why is he doing it in the middle of a crowded street? The sense of shame that Weed had been fighting so hard to keep down finally won over. He'd been making a large scene in front of a lot of people. Damn it! Weed walked off in a hurry. A newcomer in Royal Road is confined to the city of origin for a week in the real world and 4 weeks in the game, thanks to the considerable distance between cities. Most new players were learning the basics, doing simple quests, or learning craft skills, such as tailoring, blacksmithing, and cooking, which were relatively easy to acquire. The game boasted its unrestricted flexibility, and because all the highest-ranking positions were still occupied by NPCs instead of users, having personal contacts was very important. A considerable number of users work in libraries or stores to make money. Central Square was filled with novice merchants who were buying and selling to other players. Others were making parties in pursuit of adventure. After seeing this scene, Weed headed for the training hall. To be continued.